Hi, Toy Tractor Times fans. I'm at the 2020 National Farm Toy Show in Dyersville, Iowa, and I'm here with Joshua Voss from Loudon, Iowa. And you've got a different scale. You've got a really nice display, and can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yep, I think I'm the only one here with a 187 scale, or HO scale trains. And so the farm here is on my grandparents' farm. We live in Bennett, Iowa, and I live in Loudon. And it's basically what I remember growing up and getting to play on the farm. And it's also based off of the pictures that I have here that are from the 1950 to 1960 era.
Oh, it's just picture perfect farm, and we can see the pictures. See the house and the silo and the two barns and Farmstead, and here's a color one.
So I believe the picture on the left was approximately 1950-ish. The one picture on the right here is about 1961.
Okay. So I guess we start on the road. I did a live stream earlier, just like where the kind of had the pickup truck coming down the road. What kind of truck is that?
I believe a 1955 Ford F-100.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's just coming down that typical Iowa
gravel road.
And
just used sand for the gravel road to make it look like our typical limestone gravel roads.
And we can just see that Farmstead looks very nice. And then we've got our driveway and mailbox and picket fence. Got that kind of 1950s, 60s garage.
Yep. And I believe that's a 1956 Ford Fairlane.
Okay.
And my grandparents did have one of those. It was, I believe theirs was a little bit more of the greenish undertone on the bottom with the white top. But it was fit pretty close though to what I wanted. And
I've got the power lines here. I'm going to be like a drone. I better stay back and not plow through them.
That's right.
You got the farmstead here with a garden and
Grandma always loved her flower gardens and a massive garden and stuff. You can see her out there watering and stuff, and she got the dog and the cat behind her.
And the reel mower for push mowing.
Yep.
And we can see our house. We got even the drain spouts on it.
Yep, those were a little bit difficult to stay on there when I'm moving stuff around because the downspouts like to fall off. So, but once I got everything settled, it worked out pretty well.
I like how you have a little bit of dirt from walking in the door and across the porch, and try to zoom in here to show that.
And I try to get the effect on the gutters and the downspouts to kind of show when the leaves and stuff pile up and starts making a mess on top of the roofs and everything, or when the shingles start, starting to degrade.
So we can see the gutters up here and just a little bit of weathering on the roof and the side windows. You got the storm cellar.
Yep.
And flowers around this side of the house. And
little bushes and trees and stuff. She really enjoyed doing her flowers around the house, keeping that up. And
then I like kind of get that peek of the farmyard with the tractors and equipment. That's if I were driving by back here, that's what I'm trying to turn my neck just to get one peek of the tractor.
Yep.
Now is this kind of a windbreak here with the trees?
That would be the windbreak, yep. And had multiple rows of trees. And I remember one tree would fall down, my grandpa would plant another one right away. So it was just a variety of everything. I remember my dad telling me that he would drive down the road ditches looking for old cedar trees too, or like young ones, and dig them out of the ditch and bring them home to replant them. So just to keep the windbreak going anyway.
So it looks kind of, you got a birch tree, some evergreens.
It was a variety of everything.
And then I kind of like these kind of reddish trees as well.
I looked at that as kind of like, it's supposed to be like based on between late spring, early summer. So it looks like some of the trees the buds are just starting to come on, or the leaves are starting to shoot out. So look at different colors and tones there. And
you've got the fence post, the corner post here, and a little bit of fencing thrown over the side. And
the fence posts and stuff I built out of just mainly toothpicks after and painted them. And I made sure the toothpicks are stuck all the way through the 4-inch foam. So I have them very, very sturdy. And then I just used it's aluminum wire that's on there.
Okay. And they typically in Iowa, everybody grazes their cows after the harvest, and so the fields are all
usually
fenced, and we can see this field has been freshly disked, and you got the furrows in it.
Yep, and that is actual dirt out of the garden too.
Okay.
That has been sifted and then baked in the wife's oven. She wasn't too happy about that, but it worked.
And we can kind of get a backside of the farmstead, the two corn cribs.
Corn cribs and the lean. And to that part, I do not remember. That was gone before I was born. But now at that location is a 60 by 90 steel machine shed.
That is the interesting thing. Looking at your pictures, everything at this time period was wood, and today we're used to seeing a lot of metal, plastics.
Correct.
Like we can see the equipment in the yard, a John Deere corn planter, a tractor and plow. And then back here, some more buildings.
Yep, that was my grandma's chicken coop, and she had, I forget, hundreds and hundreds of chickens from my understanding. And that was her big thing, was selling her eggs and selling the chicken meat. And so that was a big deal there. And the chickens are actually inside the screened-in front part of it there.
Okay.
If you come, actually, I think if you come on this side of it and look down inside of there, you'll be able to see them sitting in there.
See, the windows are open and now what are these other two buildings out here?
So from my understanding, there was an old machine shed that was back here, right next to the chicken coop, and then the other building over here, there's a tractor in front of it, was the original shop. Okay. And they still worked out of that shop until they converted the milking barn into a shop, and then also the machine shed was built. So that
this is your milking barn here?
That would have been a milking barn, from my understanding, what my dad was telling me about, and they had the lean, and the lean's all added on there for extra equipment.
Then one thing I really liked in seeing other people's pictures of your display is just the kind of that old farm path up through the field going back into the farm.
Yep, the plant right over top of it, and then basically running over.
So he's just finished disking and coming back to the farm.
Yep.
Now, is this a mat or static grass?
That is a static grass display there.
Okay.
Yep. Scenic Express is who I went through on that. Thought they do a good job on kind of matching that tone of let's say your late spring and early summer colors anyway.
I'm gonna just walk past you here and just show how the path comes into the gate there, and it just has such a deep, rich look to it all the way through.
And Grandpa still always had junk piles and steel piles, and that's where I remember us kids always playing in, going out and find treasures. So I think most of those are still there too. So.
And then we got the farm and the dairy barn again.
Yep. And the milk house there next to it, and actually inside, I don't know if you can zoom in or not, but inside the windows there is actually the tanks are inside the milk house.
I'll come around the fence row here. Get one more look at that detail, how that hangs down there. Again, that early spring effect. And a fence row just gives such a nice definition to a field. You have this way looking, and it gives it a break and more view, and the same way on this side. That something else is happening over there.
And I think it changed too. Once I planted the trees next to that fence and made the branches overhanging the fence line, I think it really brought it out even more too. Because I remember that driving along, especially in the fall with the combine, and you're scraping the mirrors across the branches all the time. So
there's our lean-to, and now what we were looking for the milk or the
inside this right here, the milk house there. There's actually the tanks and the hose. The lines are actually in there.
Okay.
It's probably pretty difficult to see through the windows, but it is there. And you can see my grandpa there at the gate petting his cows. He always talked to his cows and always petted them and walked through the lot to go feed them. So there always seemed to be super friendly cows when we were out there with our kids.
And then is this like a beef barn here, or is that
just for them, mainly just to go land, get out of the wind and stuff like that.
Okay.
That was partially coming down when I was pretty young. But I do remember my dad saying that was mainly one of their main hay mows was there, but of course the big hay mow was on the big barn.
Okay. So the all dairy cows then? Or?
It was a mixture of beef and dairy.
Okay.
So from my understanding, they got out of dairy after my dad left the house, and then mainly he went all beef, and usually ran about 50 head of beef.
Okay. And again, the silo looks great, that weathering and a little bit of rust on the bands.
Yep. And both, actually, if I would have extended it out about probably another, I don't know, maybe a foot further, and in 187th scale, I guess, I would have been able to add the other silo to it, and the fence line's coming up further.
Okay. And then we got pigs.
Yep, we always had pigs, and that was basically their nursery and stuff.
It's flat rack wagon here. I remember playing on those as a kid and putting my pedal tractor in front of it and pretending I was pulling. Now the windmill's nice. That's
that would be about an 80-footer in 187 scale.
Okay.
I know they did not have an 80-footer. It was probably about a 60-ish or so. But I thought it still looked nice because it's still just above the tree line. Because I remember it always being way up there. So
it's not, and that's just the different levels of trees, because a barn is big, but trees can.
The trees should always dwarf the buildings for the most part.
And then you also have power lines coming through the farm again, and we saw those out on the road. And it's just a great piece. I mean, very compact, but
There you go.
telling a great story. And I just wanted to show everyone what it's standing on too. It's kind of right at eye level, and you have a nice table built under it.
So I made it pretty steady with putting the kind of like make it look like a trestle sitting when it's sitting on
Sure.
the way.
Well, thank you for the tour. I really
you very
appreciate
much.
it,
I
and
appreciate
it's just great to see a different scale and different detail.
Thank you. I hope
Thank
to have
you.
more people to compete against maybe this next year or a year after. We'll see.
Sounds good.
All
Well,
right.
thank you.
again.
And thank you for everyone for watching on Toy Tractor Times YouTube. If you'd like to learn more about modeling and customization, check out toytractortimes.com Toy Talk, where thousands of collectors share pictures and ideas of what they're working on and how to do it. And you can check out more of Toy Tractor Times YouTube, where there's hundreds of videos on farm displays. As always, thank you for watching.